fellow travelers, and welcome to another episode of Virgin Stars Podcast 4th season. How my loyal listeners, thank you for continued support. Enjoy this amazing interview because Bechir Sylvain boards the mothership. You know him as Leclerc in Jurassic World Rebirth. Now come on board with Traversing the Stars. Hi, Mr. Sylvain. Thank you for the Virgin Stars Podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So my pleasure. Me and my wife love Jurassic Park Rebirth, so it's a Jurassic World Rebirth, so it's a great pleasure to have you on the show, sir.
I'm excited to be here.
So I always start off with a question of inspiration to inspire your love for acting and who your earliest influences.
My first influences, funny enough, is Jimmy Stewart. I grew up in Haiti, so television was basically my safe zone, and I watched a lot of television. And in Haiti, in the 80s, yes, I'm that old. They used to show like old school films. This is also current shows as well too. So everything was in French. So I thought everybody was French for the longest time. But I remember watching It's a Wonderful Life and also like Stir, Window, and all these classics. I mean, we watched all of them. I mean, The Three Stooges. I mean, all the black and whites, Casablanca, which till this day still is one of my favorite. But something about Jimmy Stewart, I always felt
Mm.
something about him, just his voice and the way he was so convincing. I would say he was one of my first inspiration, and then watching Denzel in Glory
Mhm.
was the biggest influence when it came to dramatic stuff. I was just like, oh wow, and seeing someone that looks like me, that's just
Mm.
like powerful. Sidney Poitier as well too, for sure. Uh, um, but yeah, those were my inspiration back in the day.
Now the important question is, so the original Jurassic Park came out in 1993. Did you watch that in Haiti or were you already in the States by that time?
I was in Haiti, because I came in '94, December of '94. Um, and I just remember being blown away. Like I didn't know it was possible to do something like this,
Hmm.
if it makes any sense. It was just like, huh? And of course, I grew up watching all his, Indiana Jones and all of
Yeah.
that, like that, but Jurassic was different. Jurassic was just like, oh, it looks like they're there for real. You know what I'm saying?
I will
So,
say I remember, like, I don't always remember my movie experiences. Like you asked me, do you remember seeing what it was like seeing this movie in theaters, like Star Trek 6 I saw in theaters? Do you remember what those felt like? No. Jurassic Park, I remember I was 13. I remember completely watching that in theaters and just every moment of that film just being like in awe and being like, holy shit. It has stayed with me indelibly for God, it's been 32 years now. Jesus. I still remember that film experience.
no, no, exactly. Like, and it's the thing. It's like it changed your imagination. It was like it pushed your especially at those times in the years. We've seen some stuff, Labyrinth, you name it. We've seen
Hmm.
some amazing movies, but it was something about Jurassic that just made it like totally different. I know friends that are like, I started acting because of Jurassic. I was like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I just remember being blown away and almost to the point where I was like, is this even possible?
The scene that sticks with me for, like there's the scene when you first see the Brachiosaur and
Yeah.
Sam Neill playing Alan Grant does the glasses thing where he kind of like fumbles with me. So I'm like that just sticks with me and just because I felt like how he felt watching that moment. Like
Yeah.
holy shit, that looks real. That is real. There's a Brachiosaur in the world.
Yeah. No, and that's credit to all of them. I mean, I was young, so I wasn't paying attention to the acting like that. But again, to their credit, it's like you had that experience through them, and exactly, you were feeling exactly what they were feeling. So that's why it works so well. When everything went haywire, you were just as scared with the kids. Like I would have passed out when that glass came down, and I would have passed out. I would have just been like, huh?
I'm telling you, like there's so many moments, like the T Rex when he first just comes out of the fence, he just does the roar.
Yeah.
You are in
Oh
that
yeah.
moment, and you're thinking to yourself, I feel as scared as they do. And
Yeah.
in a theater, I know I'm in a theater, but I'm as scared as they. The T-Rex, it's coming.
I would have passed out. I know it. I would have just straight up fainted.
So, I mean, obviously, the reason we're talking about that is because you play Leclerc in Jurassic World Rebirth.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, that is one of the biggest. We talk about Jurassic Park. The Lost World was a huge movie. I mean, it's one of the biggest franchises over the last 40, 50 years. What was your reaction when you heard you were going to be in a Jurassic, technically Park film?
Well, when I got the audition alone was like, what? Nah. Is this the same movie? This is crazy. The audition alone gave me enough reaction, let alone being in it. And I'm still trying to catch up with my brain as far as like what it means and the significance of that. But the audition alone just when my manager was like, yeah, it's for Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World. And I was just like, what? First of all, they doing another one? And second of all, second of all, I was just like, nah, there's no way. But I was like, all right, I'm gonna have fun. I treat it just like I treat every other thing that I do. And I was just like, I'm just gonna have a good time or whatever. But once I found out that I got it, it was just like it got more surreal. Like it was just out of this world, especially the fact that I had to leave this world to go to Thailand and Malta and everything like that. So my whole world changed. It was just like, oh snap, this is really happening. And then my first day on set, it was just I was lost for it. I was terrified. I was terrified, but at the same time, I was in awe. I was so in awe of like, oh my God, we actually are out here in Thailand in a location and I'm surrounded by stars. And oh snap, I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? And like
Well,
it's insane.
the part that's crazy is that for a lot of movies, especially at the scale of Jurassic World, because when you get to Jurassic World level, you're talking about like one of the big blockbusters of any given year. It's a tentpole. They don't usually tell you you're auditioning for that movie. Usually it's like that bullshit, like you're playing character Joe in a movie called, Look at Things, or like some stupid title, and then you gotta just perform and you find out what it really is. But they told you ahead of time what it was. That's
Well,
it's
at
kind of
first it
pressure.
was at first I thought it was dummy sides. I think yeah, my manager did tell me like, yeah, it's this is Jurassic, and I was just
Please.
like, what? I mean, it's definitely had a code. They had a code name, but he was
Yeah.
like, this is it. And then the sides, which I thought were dummy sides, kind of led on to it as well too, because there was the scene from in the boat, and then also one of the scenes in the island. But I thought it was it. And I was just like, because it was so minimal. So I was just like, oh, all right, well, it'll be great to be part of something that huge, right? And
Right.
then once I got the script, and I was like, oh, I'm in it. Like I'm in it. I'm like, oh wow, this is insane. This is really insane. A funny story though, about uh working with Garrett. I don't know if you had that question or not, but it just popped in my head.
Yeah.
Um I found out a couple weeks ago that I auditioned for another franchise that was huge, and I was excited, and it was like over 10 years ago. Yeah, 11 years ago. I was so excited, and it was nothing big. It was just like a moment. It was like a monster comes into the train station, and you cut to this moment, and I'm with my family, and I'm like, oh, and I look at the main character, and she's like, you're gonna be all right. And I'm like, all right, cool. And that was it. And so I'm super excited, and I go to the set, and I get cut. They shot the main character, and then when they were gonna turn around to me, they were like, "Hey, we ran out of time.
Oh
We're so
shit.
sorry." And I was so upset because I was just like, "Oh man!" But I was just like, "That's fine." It was close, but it was a big movie. Then they were like, "The director wants to talk to you," and I was like, "Oh, okay." The director wants to talk to me, and he was like, I just want to say it wasn't your fault. I'm sorry. It's just got to go. We just have to really, really sorry. But you're gonna get residuals. But I'm sorry. Unfortunately, we're not gonna be able to do it. And I was just like, all right, cool. Why was that director Gareth Edwards for Godzilla?
Right, right, right. Holy
And for
crap.
it to be like later on,
Like he remembered you that well?
um,
Did he remember you from like?
No,
Oh
I
shit.
just remembered it a couple weeks ago. We just spent 4 months in the country working with each other, and then I got a residual, I got a $21 residual from Godzilla, and I was like, wait, he did Godzilla. It can't be the same Godzilla, is it? And then I look and I was like, oh snap, it is. And then I
Oh
called him up.
crap!
I texted him and I was like, dude, do you remember this? And he was like, oh my God, yes. He's like, I do remember this. And I was like, this whole time.
That's badass in multiple ways. One, you were technically in Godzilla, which was well again another massive franchise. But two, you just dropped the little. You're able to literally text Gareth Edwards and be like, "Yo, what's up?" That is fucking crazy. That's awesome.
I mean, there's so many things that blows my mind. Like the fact that if I ever meet Steven Spielberg, we didn't get a chance to meet him, like he'll know who I am. It just like that alone, like coming from Haiti, not ever thinking that I would ever meet somebody as huge as this, and to be able to know like because Garrett would tell me, he was like, yeah, he sees the dailies, yeah, he saw your audition, yeah, he liked you. And I was like, I still can't believe it. I need to hear it from him.
Yeah, I'm sure you can have Garrett connect you.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I feel like people like Steven and Scorsese, they become a myth. Like they become
Mm.
this like this entity that you just like bypassing. If you get to see them, it's like whoa, like you know what I'm saying? Because yeah, truly, I thought I was gonna meet him during this shoot, but unfortunately, I think he was working
So,
on the film.
what is it about you that you are seen as someone who giant reptiles want to kill?
I guess because I'm so sweet. I don't know.
Because apparently you're typecast as the guy reptiles want to kill.
Well, funny enough, we started not knowing who was gonna die or not.
Yeah.
Um, it was later on, they were like, yeah, we're gonna let you go. But it wasn't planned from the beginning. It wasn't like, yeah, this has definitely happened. Um, and also they were trying to figure out how it was gonna happen as well too. But yeah, man, I mean, it's one of those movies, and also like I'm proud of it because it's one of those deaths that I think is pretty up there when it comes to gruesome. I mean, I got swallowed whole.
Well, there's an internet rumor that's very important. Since you got swallowed whole, you technically could be alive and then make it to the other out the other end, still alive if you move fast enough through the system. Is all I'm saying.
I mean, who never knows? I mean, I might have had a knife with me and maybe cut his gut out, and I mean, I don't know. You never know.
The sequel could be going back to the island to rescue you because you're still alive on the island.
You never know because they have a helicopter that comes in every day.
That's what
So
I'm saying.
you
You never
never know.
know.
I could come back. My hope is either that or my hope is that they do something that reflects the past and they could show us back in the day when we were like, full on just badasses. Because, I feel like they did a great way of like introducing these characters that makes you gonna go, wow, I wonder what their life is like. And it'd be dope if they went,
Well,
backwards a little bit.
let me also as someone who's versatile, you could always play your twin. The twin
Exactly.
on the hunt for his
If I
brother. I
shave
mean,
this, it's a
it can
wrap.
happen. They didn't say
Or
name
I
the
can play a
brother.
totally different character. I just need to shave and it's a wrap. I'm
Right.
somebody else. And I can just speak English too, so it's a wrap.
If Mr. Edwards is listening, I'm just throwing out some ideas. You can always put me in the
Yeah.
thank you credits if
I
that
could be a
happens.
cousin, come in. Oh man, I heard my brother Leclerc died. Oh, I didn't know French like he did.
So, as you mentioned, you guys actually have a backstory where you guys were these badasses. You fought, you were a mercenary basically with Scarlett Johansson's character and whatnot. Did they give you any like feedback on who Leclerc, like what kind of, how much backstory they give you on your character?
Oh man, I always do a whole thing on every character that I do. I mean, literally, I have like notes that I sent the director, I sent to Gary, and usually I get two reactions. Usually they're like, okay, or they're like, great, this is awesome. And Garrett was one of those people that was just like, awesome. I asked to make the character Haitian, because I was just like, why not? I speak French and I'm Haitian, so it made sense for me to represent my country that way. And
Mm,
especially we don't have that many representation, so it was such an honor, and it really blessed me to find out that they led that way, and they were like, yeah, we like it, and let's make him Haitian.
mm.
Um, which was great. And I did. I mean, they had like the general, background. He's worked with King Kane, and he's a mercenary. He's got military background. But then I went in. I went to his parents, how he grew up, like the missions that he's done, how he met Nina, how he met Kincaid, how he worked with Lenora once in a while. Like, I mean, I went in. I even had like costume ID. Like I do that for all my characters. So it was great to be able to implement all of it, really. Even to the point where I had my bracelet, everything that I wore, even the little red, it's funny when you look back, you'll see different things that you're gonna be like, oh my God, the red handkerchief. I remember suggesting that. I was like, hey, since Nina dies, is there any way I could have that as a way to remember her? Because I feel like when with movies and action, sometimes we don't have time to mourn the dead, and I was
Mm.
like, I need to have something to signify that she's still with me. And I remember Garrett going, "That's a great idea. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." And then he's like, "We need to shoot this." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then I had that moment with the handkerchief. I was like, "Oh, this is insane.
That's
This is
awesome.
insane." So it's so cool, man. It was so cool,
And
the collaboration and their willingness to listen and take any ideas. I felt like Garrett and the team, if it helped the story, they were all for it. And it was literally to help the story. And I'm the type of actor, like when I come in, it's not about me trying to get more screen. It's just what makes sense. Sometimes I'll
mm,
suggest stuff I'm not even in it. I'll just be like, yeah, wouldn't it make sense to do it? And they're like, oh my God. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm a storyteller myself. So I
right.
understand the idea of what my goal is. My goal is either if I'm supporting, my goal is to support. And I'll do it the best way that I can. And if I think there's a moment that I could support even more, might as well say it. Worst thing they could do is say no. You know.
Well, I mean, it's so cool, and I think you did such a fantastic job. And for a movie, also because this movie's so CGI heavy, right? I thought it was shot on a set, but you're saying you literally when it was shot in Thailand. That is amazing because like I thought it was most of it would be on a set because of
And
all the special effects.
you don't understand how your comment makes me so happy because that was one of my major goals. I was like, you don't understand how many people are gonna think that it's a set, and it's not. And the one place that was fake was the hill where I get devoured because they built an entire tower for us to be able to like look down, and we actually propelled. All that is real. Like that's me literally going down, me hanging like 30 feet down. Yeah, yeah. All that
Did you
is
actually know how to do all that before?
Oh yeah, I had to train throughout the whole 4 months to do that. It's what we were out there for 4 months training and all that stuff, driving a boat, all of that. But I think it made the movie even better
Mm,
because we were in a location. So that's why like our reactions and stuff are so real and natural because man, when you have such a beautiful location like that, you're just in awe already. And so it did for the actors, I think for personally for me, it does put you into the world even more than just a set. And I was so happy because I was like, man, I hope they bring that back because the experience that you get, not only I'm sure the crew and everybody, not only that you get to be on a real set, but you get to experience another culture and different
mm,
food and really become so much closer. Like become so close because of that experience instead of like being in our trailer and waiting to go into a set and then the green screen and then pretend that we're somewhere else. Yeah, that works too, I guess. But the magic of it is incredible, and then the initiative of like really exposing us to other cultures was just, you know, it's what's it called? Priceless,
mm.
priceless. Yeah, it's definitely priceless.
Now, when you talk about the original Jurassic Park, everyone knows some of the dinosaurs were animatronic. There's T-Rex shots that were animatronic. The Triceratops were animatronic. Some of the Velociraptor shots were animatronic. In Jurassic World Rebirth, were any of it there, or was it all complete CGI?
Dolores, the one that stole the whole movie, is animatronics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Once again, I
Yeah.
was assuming that one was the
Yeah, you
CGI.
would think it's the other way around. And then puppeteering they use for us for the brontosaurus, it was a tennis ball. But most of the other ones they either had puppets or puppeteering people that would just basically would walk around and just create the illusion of that, and a lot of times it was a tennis ball. But I got to meet Dolores, and I was like, this is creepy.
No,
Cute, but I was like, I don't know, man. This is getting too real, bro. And also the dead dinosaurs were animatronics as well too.
okay. Because like I said, because Dolores, like I said, I think like it's like the Baby Yoda of Jurassic World, where you're like the cute little thing that you know is gonna steal the movie once you saw it, like, oh, that's where
Oh
the
yeah, I was just like, oh, we can't compete with that.
and
I'm like, good, good, good. Everybody's gonna come see this. It's gonna be-
the other interesting thing is, okay, when so I talked to, I've also been able to interview multiple actors on my program, and they always talk about acting is reacting to another actor. Now, the problem with CGI is that you have no one to react to. It's, your it's full imagination, or it's a tennis ball, which some reason feels even more silly on some level, like in a mental way, than seeing just like a green screen. How do you get yourself or approach to act against nothing?
Just your imagination, man. Your imagination and truth. I try to be as truthful as possible. Like I said, when you're in a beautiful location like Thailand and the mountains are so like huge and beautiful and they got bats and they have all types of crevice, it's not hard to, allow yourself to have the imagination of being in awe or even being scared.
Mm,
You really allow yourself to use your imagination the best way that you can instead of and also in a truthful way. I always try to go with the where I'm at. If I'm in a place and it's creepy and it's dark and it's like, when we were in the swamp, I was just like, yeah, this is not safe. And it was literally like, all right, this is so it's still the mechanics of reacting. You're just reacting to the environment, and then whatever it's the tennis ball or not, you use the environment, and then whatever the tennis ball does for you, with whatever the script says, you allow that to react to that, and use your imagination to emote the emotion that you need to emote. But yeah, it's just like anything else. I think we are moving more and more into that space where we have to react to things that are not there. Shoot, sometimes we do that with actors. Sometimes an actor can't stay and they gotta go, and then you have to just look at some X mark, where they were at, and then you have to do your scene that way. I think one of the first films, not first films, at a waterfront, the famous scene with Brando, where he's like, "It was you, Charlie." Apparently, all the singles to Charlie, Brando wasn't there. That's why he's so mad. And I was like, so that's something that's, you always have to be able to use your imagination in that way. And I'm sure he took in the moments when he had to act with him and use that imagination to respond to whatever, the lines were. So yeah.
now here's a weird question. All right. So, okay, so T-Rex, right? Obviously, T-Rex has teeth. When he kills you, it's a certain reaction to being chomped to death, right? I mean, it's a different thing. I can't pronounce the name of the reptile that killed you.
I
Um,
call him Q. Q.
Q. But my understanding is it doesn't have teeth. It kind of has like just the beak. I mean, was there a
He,
discussion about how it kills? It was like your reaction to how it kills you because it doesn't kill you quite like another animal, like a Jaws thing would kill you. I mean, is
yeah.
there a discussion of keep in mind it's like this or like that?
It's yeah, I mean it's because we had to do the voice over on that, and I just thought of like being pressed
Ah,
more than anything, because they don't have teeth, so you're not getting, so it's more of like somebody's pressing you and you until and you're just like and then it breaks your arm or it breaks your leg, that's what I thought of when it came to the moments, because it was just like, oh my God, I can't move right now, and it's pressing me until either my back spine cracks or my whatever parts crack, and then and that was it. But yeah, I'm so, and I think that's what probably took them so long to figure out. how I was gonna die. Because first of all, they didn't know, and then they were like, "All right, cool. We got to figure out how you're gonna die." Because it was a little different. It was a little different on what got him upset. Before I was on, we were inside the cave, and then I was down, and I grabbed a branch, and then I hit him across the face, and I was like, "Oh!" And then I would have done it comedically, where I'd be like, "Boom," and then drop the tree and be like, "Go get go get the branch. It was me." But then they figure out this way, which was pretty cool because then I got to do a really cool stunt, so that was dope.
So when you think, also when you think about Leclerc as a mercenary, do you think he's a heroic character? Because the question about a mercenary, obviously, is someone is basically a hired killer. So, like, how did you kind of determine what kind of guy is a mercenary, but at the same time, he seems like a very good heroic individual. So, how did you kind of like piece that psychology together?
Yeah, I think, I think that's why Kincaid messes with him because not only that he's useful in a way of like combat or whatever, but he's the cook. He cooks food. He's the guy that you want in your team when things go wrong. Uh, I always say that he doesn't like to work hard. He works smart, and when he doesn't want to work hard, he goes to sleep. Like he's just gonna chill. You know what I'm saying? Like this is easy work. I'm not. I don't have to use my skills right now. I just have to sit and listen. I don't need to be like so it doesn't he doesn't take that part in seriously, but when it comes to being in a survival situation, and because of his background, and because I use my background being Haitian, he's very useful. Because my I grew up with a dad that was a what's it called, agronomist. I don't know if that's a word for you guys, but basically he knew everything about botanist in a sense.
Oh,
So he knew everything about plants and everything like that. So that knowledge, and I feel like, Leclerc knows about all these stuff because I'm using kind of myself, but in a more extended way.
hmm.
So he knows how to survive. He knows how to, rock climb. He knows how to like find the right trees to use so he doesn't get sick. He's a survivalist. So, yeah, I think he's the type of person that you want to be in your team, and also he keeps it fun. He loves
Hmm.
music. He loves to just have a good time. But when things hits the fan, at first when you meet him, you're like, ah, he's so lazy. He doesn't want to do anything, and you're just like, he might rub you the wrong way in that way, but then when you see him at work, especially like when the kids came in, he comes around, he gives them food, he's attentive, he's very quick and very aware of how to be attentive, and he's also very aware of characters as well too. It's a small moment, but even like when I was bringing the coffee to Kincaid, and I'm next to the villain, right? I forgot his it's not what was his name? I forgot.
I can't.
But
The billionaire.
Rupert, yeah, the millionaire,
Yeah.
Rupert Friend. I forgot his character's name, but there's a moment I give him a look like, get out of the way, because I could tell like he's the type of person that could tell personalities like this guy ain't cool. So it's fun to play a character like that that's very aware of his surrounding and is also a survivalist, but at the same time could do the things that we all sometimes don't want to do. It's like, ugh, I gotta sit here and just watch. Ugh, all right, fine.
So, and obviously, everyone, people are going to be wondering what it was like to be on set with Scarlett Johansson, and I'm going to get the first name wrong,
Mahershala?
Yeah, I have a speech thing, so I know I'm not going to get that name right. Ali.
Yeah. Oh man, it was a dream come true, man. Like, I sometimes they say don't meet your heroes. Like this is one of those scenarios where you go, nah, you know what? It's okay to meet your heroes because they will literally not only live up to your expectation, but they'll go beyond your
Hmm.
expectation. And I got very blessed to be able to meet, Scarlett, Mahershala, Johnny, Rupert. My first day was with them, and it would have been very easy for me to kind of basically just like the Homer Simpson meme where you just back up and you just
Hmm.
disappear. It could have been easy for me to do that, but the welcoming and their love and their professionalism and looking at me as a peer really empowered me and made me feel so special because I was just like, wow, man, you guys really treat me like, one
Hmm.
of your own. And also even outside of the set, the way that Scarlett brought everybody in together to really create this camaraderie and just, took care of us and made sure that we were okay. And Mahershala, oh my God, I call him the Prince, man. Like that dude, would stay at every, shot that we have to do, even if I had a moment that was super small and I just needed to, he was like, no, I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna stay and you're gonna give the reaction to me. And I was like, you don't have to. And he's like, no, no. And I was like, wow, like it was just such a beautiful experience to see someone in these levels that are still just as genuine and amazing and just beautiful people, man. It really like made me happy and also taught me like, okay, cool. Because I've seen the other side. I've seen the other side where you're just like, oh my gosh. And you're not even known, like, you know what I'm saying? And you just go, ugh,
Well,
you know.
well, the thing, I mean, obviously Scarlett Johansson was Black Widow for a long time. Mr. Lee supposedly is going to be Blade in the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Having that they're both in Jurassic Park, which is also a major franchise, I think the franchise they came in. Did they give you any advice or like you're now entering the world of the franchise? You know, like
Nah,
you're
nah. I
being
mean,
this is get ready for this.
the cool thing is it's like they made me feel like this is the norm.
Hmm.
Which is great, man. Like they didn't, I mean, dude, Mahershala has 2 Oscars, dude. Like, you know how many people that have 2 Oscars? Not that many. And she has an Oscar. You know what I'm saying? So you're just sitting around like, oh my gosh. But man, it was just their ability to make you feel like you belong here. You belong here and you're here. So, there's no need for me to hold your hand or make you feel like, okay, now you gotta they set the tone. They set the tone, and whatever they were doing, you were just like, all right, cool. Well, I gotta be on point too, because it could have easily been like, "Ugh, all right, we gotta do this thing real quick. Let's go. Nah, every day everybody came in to work, man, and I'm the type of the person that wants to work all the time. So their excitement and their passion, that continuous passion, they've been doing it for so long. Like to have that same passion that we all have like when we just started is so effective and it's just like wow. So they didn't have to even say anything. They led by example. They led by example. Just their example was enough for me to learn to number one how to behave in a big franchise as that too, but also why they have the longevity that they have is because they are genuinely incredible human beings.
Hmm. So what's next for you?
What's next for me? I'm auditioning for a lot of work right now and waiting for, the next gig. I do have a Marvel series that's coming out in December, Wonder Man, where I guest star in that, make an appearance in that, which I'm super excited about. I've been writing my own stuff. I have 2 shorts that are on festivals. One is called The Cost, and the other one is called the. Oh my God, I can't remember the other name. Anyway, it's about immigration and all that wonderful stuff. But and yeah, and also like, just shopping around certain projects that are written that I've written and friends have written. I have a really good friend of mine, Kira, that's created a movie about Toussaint Louverture, which is from my country. He's one of the revolutionary of Haiti. So there's a lot. There's always something to do. There's always something to do and I'm always excited to see what's next. But as far as if you're like, oh, okay, what's the next I'm going to see you in? The Marvel series Wonder Man, you're definitely going to see me in
You
that for
should come
sure.
back on the show and talk Wonder Man when it's time for December. You
Oh
gotta
yeah, oh
come back.
absolutely, absolutely, man. It's
That'd be
it's it's a
awesome.
fun one. It's a fun one.
I want to thank you so much, sir. It was an absolute honor to speak with you. And Jurassic World Rebirth was fantastic. So thank you so much.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me.
Have a great night.
You too, man.